Hello, my name is JJ Asgar, and I'm a developer advocate for the IBM Cloud. So this is part two of a three-part series on deploying a Hugo site to something called Code Engine from IBM. It's about to go GA, and there's a couple of things that I'd like to kind of just show off and work with. In the previous video, we built a container that had Hugo inside of it, and we deployed it to Code Engine. This time around, I'm going to take that exact same container and I'm going to deploy it using CLI so we see some commands and how to manipulate the different options we have inside of it. You'll notice the CLI will have the options, and I'll bring up the console also so you can see the changes at the same time. So let's go ahead and give this a try. So if you can see here in front of my screen, we have the exact same Code Engine Hugo line here. And I have the application that I have deleted, or it was this one. We're going to create a new one to make sure that it's clean and everything is what we expect it to be. So first thing first, we actually have to make sure we install the Code Engine plugin to IBM Cloud. As you see, I have already installed it. I'm just going to do a quick little update, and that works like that. Next, we're going to go ahead and select our project, which, as you notice here, it's called JJ Testing because I'm really good at naming things. And I tell CE project select that name. As you see, it selects, everything's going great. Now, after that, we need to create a new application. I'm going to go ahead and call this blog 2 because, again, I'm really good at naming things. And we're going to go ahead and do, IBM Cloud CE application create dash name blog 2 image. Because I've already pushed our container up into quay, so if I bring up quay real quick, you will see, here we go. Here's our recent build of latest for our Code Engine Hugo. So I'll do equals quay.io JJ Asgar Code Engine Hugo latest. Latest. So we will need to do IBM Cloud CE application delete name blog 2. As you see how easy that was just to remove my error, and I'll go ahead and add it again. And as you can see, it's configuring and making things happen. Already, if we come over to the testing, JJ testing, refresh it, and we already have blog 2 deploying for us. As you see here, quay, and it is deploying our instance. So it takes a minute, as you see now that it's ready, so I can go ahead and open this application. And we should see here in just a second. It's still deploying. Don't make a liar out of me. There we go. My Hugo site. Perfect. So we know now that through this command, I have now deployed this application and pushed it up to quay. Sweet. Next, we need to need to play with it a little bit, right? And as you saw, it gave us the command. So if I go ahead and do list, here's one way to see all the different projects in case I didn't see it already. If I do ahead and go get, and I can do blog 2, this gives me all the information I need to know, what's going on, the conditions. Now this is the important part right here. Because it's scaled to 0, that means after 300 seconds, if there's no traffic, it scales down to 0. That's the reason why we saw that little bit of delay. But let's say maybe I don't want to have that small hiccup right there. So let's go ahead and give it a minimum amount of containers to, let's just say 5. IBM Cloud, CE application, update, dash name, blog 2 to min of 5. So now I say, hey, Code Engine, make sure there's at least 5 of these containers sitting there, always waiting to go. Now, if you notice, it does sit here and wait for that to happen. You can use the -NW command to do it asynchronously. So when you send the command, it just sends off and then it brings you back your command prompt, which is kind of useful. But in this case, I want to actually show you how long it takes to make these things happen. And if you've noticed over here on the side, it's already said 5 instances are up and running. And now we're just waiting for the load balancer. And if we go to the runtime option here, you should see, oops, I need to refresh this. You should see now 5 instances right here. There we go. So already you have the ability to turn the knobs and dials to be exactly what you need for your actual offering. And as we go here, just one more time, we click on the link, and there's my Hugo site again. So if we do that get again, you'll now notice that we have multiple instances up and running, all aged around 57 seconds, because that's the brand new one. And we have all the same information. That's really neat. Okay, so let's go ahead and quickly go back down to 0. So if I do 5, we want to do min of 0, because that's the default. And I want to do that NW that I was talking about. Goes ahead and spits it out, does the change, and we'll see over in the corner here, this spin down to 0 momentarily. Okay, so now that we know how to deploy our application from quay or Docker Hub, I use quay, for instance, and now we've actually used the command to move things around. As you see, it's spun up 6 instances now because it's trying to walk through everything, and it'll go down to 0 here momentarily. Now, let's say we actually need to deploy a brand new version of this container. This is going to take a little bit of time because my internet access is a little bit slow for whatever reason today. So we'll go ahead and start that now. If I went ahead and do, let's say for instance, config, and I want to change it from my Hugo site to my Code Engine Hugo site because that's unique, I'll go ahead and build my container. Oops. Docker build -t quay.io jjasgar cloud, or sorry, Code Engine Hugo latest period. So let's go ahead and rebuild my container just like I would normally. You can use these next handful of commands inside of a script if you wanted to, but I'm going to do each one just to make sure it's clear. Then we're going to go ahead and do Docker push to push up the new version. It should only be a small change. There we go. It's only 3 meg change to the actual file. And as you notice here too, we are down to 0 instances. That's important to recognize. Then if we do IBM Cloud CE application, this is why I would script something so I don't keep typing the wrong thing. Update name code or blog 2. Now, there is a lot of update commands. You can do this to change more or less all those knobs and dials I was talking about. But if you just do the update command with no options other than just the name, this will tell Code Engine to go pull the newest container down from the registry. And that's really, really important. Now, I haven't mentioned that there is a build system inside of Code Engine also, kind of like what we did on the previous video. But this way, I'm just showing you how to pull directly from a registry and just to make sure. There's a bunch of build options you can do and things like that. But right now, I want to show you the cool parts of being able to manipulate Code Engine to do what you need to get done. So if I go ahead and hit that, now because I didn't do the NW, it's actually going to sit there and pull down the new container and spin up the instance. And that's what I want to show you because I want to show you this in the final state. And there we go. So we've now waiting for the load balancer, and we should see 1 instance as we do just there. And assuming I know what I'm talking about, which, you know, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Maybe. Thinking about it. It's because we're all watching it. Yeah, that's it. Maybe. There we go. And now it's been pushed in. So if I go ahead and hit this button, my Code Engine Hugo site. Awesome. So that's actually how you just spin these things around. Now just to finish off everything, I'm going to go back here and do IBM Cloud CE application delete -- name, and we'll do blog 2 just to clean up after ourselves because we don't really want this because this is just a demo. And I went ahead and deleted it. As you see, it's already spun down the instances, and if I click on applications here, it's already gone. So that's it. It's pretty much it. The documentation is very thorough, but these are the commands you probably need to run 95% of what you want to get done. So hopefully you learned something. If you have any questions, never hesitate to reach out on Twitter at JJAsgar or find me around on the internet wherever you can. Thanks so much. Bye.